So I wanted to see if I could talk to you about something that's affected me. And I want you to tell me about your experiences with it. I want to talk about a thing called medical PTSD. It's a real thing. It really exists. Look it up, Google it. Medical PTSD. And I'll tell you how it begins. For me, it's been all my life. I've sickle cell is a birth defect, so you're born with it. So you deal with this all your life. So basically, it's you're a really little kid, a baby, and people are jabbing you with needles to start IVs. People are jabbing you with needles to take blood from you for tests. And that's all day, every day, for days at a time, sometimes for weeks, depends on how long your crisis lasts and you're in the hospital. I can remember being very little and people, just coming in and jabbing me and to start IVs, and my veins would be bad. I'm thinking, okay, finally that's over, and they'd have to come back, and the IV would go bad, and they'd have to stick me again. That's bad enough. Then they have to come in every day, almost twice a day, to draw blood, and you're like, you know, when you're a little kid, you kick and scream and cry because that's what little kids do, thinking that someone will make this stop. But your parents are saying, you need to calm down, you need to be still. They're holding you down. They bring nurses in, they hold you down. It's terrible. And you don't really think about it at the time that this is traumatizing to you. You just think you want it to stop, but it cannot stop because they need to start the IV to give you the medication that you need so that you can feel better. Okay? That's the treatment for sickle cell. They start an IV. They give you and earlier when I was younger, they wouldn't really give it to me through an IV. The payments, and they would give me a shot in the butt, and so it's just pain on top of pain when I'm already in pain. The worst thing about this trauma is as you get older, it goes on, but you're not allowed to kick and scream because your parents will start saying like you need to calm down. You're a big girl now, and you're supposed to accept this as part of your life. So you're screaming, you're crying, you have to hold it in. People come in and they start jabbing you with needles to start IVs. So jabbing you with needles to get blood tests, and it goes on and on for days and days, sometimes weeks and weeks, depending on how long you're in the hospital. And so from when you're like 15, you're expected to not cry about it. And it's hard because you have a right to yell about it and cry about it and complain about it. But everybody's like, this is, and it's the truth, it's what they need to do to get you better so that you can get out of this hospital and go home. Okay. But that doesn't make it any easier. As a matter of fact, it makes it harder. So, and then the nurses have less sympathy for you. They're going to say, I'm so sorry. They're going to say, grow up. So, there's the needles. There's other things. I had a guy when I was about 8 at a hospital in New Orleans. He took a dislike to me. Can't tell you why. I'm 8 years old. You're a grown man in your 30s somewhere. And he was a respiratory therapist. And I don't know if you remember, or there used to be this thing, well, there's still a thing called postural drainage. That's when they kind of lay you when you have pneumonia. In order to get the gook out of your chest that's causing you to have pneumonia, they have to pound on your chest like that. When your chest is full of gunk, that is going to hurt. That's going to hurt. And most other respiratory therapists would try with all their might to not hurt me so much. They would apologize if it hurt. They got this one guy would come in, he would hurt me on purpose and tell me, and I was like, what did I ask him? I said, what is your problem? You're a spoiled little bitch. And I said, okay. Nothing I can do about it. I told him my mom basically, I'm going to tell you something that really happened. My mom called his supervisor, his department, and said, "Don't ever send that man back to my daughter's room again." She left, and he came. He waited till after she left to come into my room, and I said, "You're not supposed to be in here." And he says, "You're a spoiled little bitch. I'll be in here. I'll do what I want." And I started yelling at him. So the nurse comes in. What's all this yelling? And I told him he's not supposed to be in here. And the nurse says, "Look, you stop arguing with him, or we'll get somebody in here to strap you down." They just have to submit to being harmed by this crazy person. So yeah, that was fun. So it's never fun. This is just one reason why people with chronic illnesses, whether it's sickle cell or HIV or lupus or anything else that you might name, need to have counselors. We need to have shrinks. I didn't have one when I was a kid. I didn't have one when I was a teenager. I didn't have one when I was a young adult. I didn't get counseling until I was in my 30s. And all this stuff started coming up and out. Because besides stuff that happens to you in the hospital, you have everything, stuff that goes on at school, stuff that goes on at home, the fact that you miss so much school from being in a hospital. All that stuff is hard, and the older you get, the less people expect you to complain about it and say how much it hurts you, how much is the interruption in your life, and what you need. So you need a disinterested party, a neutral party, to talk to complain to, as it were. So I just want to put that out there. You don't have to tell me your experiences about medical PTSD or how much pain you've been in if you don't want to. But I'm putting this out there because a lot of people don't get diagnosed with their chronic illness or don't have it until they're adults. And so you're expected not to complain about this from jump, And people are telling you, basically you grow up and you're going to be, no. I am here to tell you that you don't have to grow up and be brave and deal with it on your own anymore. I am here to tell you to go out and get counseling. I'm here to tell you how good it is and how good it feels to tell somebody that and be able to break down and cry about it in someone's presence without them judging you. Learn that. Know that. You need that. So this is this place. I hope it's a safe space. I want it to be a safe place for all of us to come and just talk about, that really sucks. Having a chronic illness really sucks sometimes. It can be very painful sometimes. So God bless. And I'll try to see you next week. I try to post once a week, but last couple of weeks I've been just working and door dashing, and I work from home on my computer as well, and a lot of stuff going on. But I'll do my best to post once a week. And if you want to post something here about what you've been through, feel free. And God bless. Bye.